Trauma is a distressing experience or set of experiences that threatens a person's actual safety or felt safety to such a degree that it exceeds an individual's capacity to cope in healthy ways. It negatively impacts life functioning, whether those effects are immediate or delayed. Childhood trauma is much more prevalent than what most people realize. We know that at least 1 in 4 students in every single classroom every day has experienced trauma that negatively impacts school success, whether that's impacting attendance, behavior, or academic growth. Educators can make a big difference with students who have experienced trauma because the evidence-based practice is relationships, as Dr. Christopher Blodgett has explained. Relationship is the evidence-based practice. What that means is that for a lot of students, trauma has occurred in their most trusted relationships. And for any healing to occur, it needs to occur within relationship too. And educators are spending tremendous amounts of time with kids all day, every day, throughout the year. And in that time, we have the opportunity to be present, to connect with kids, to be responsive in our relationships, and build the trusting relationships that help kids heal and build resiliency. And the really cool thing is that these kinds of responsive relationships where we're sensitive to the needs of traumatized students help traumatize kids. But these relationships actually help all kids and all staff and adults within the school community. That is an excellent question. And you're right, being trauma sensitive does belong in the medical world. In fact, it belongs in many different facets of our communities. It also is important that we become trauma sensitive in our schools because that's where kids are. And when we have masses of students who have experienced trauma, it's important that we create environments, especially the environments where kids spend a lot of time, that are set up with people who are informed about how to help, because we have the power within relationship to make a tremendous difference with kids. And being trauma sensitive can sound overwhelming and it can sound like something that might be difficult to do. And at times it can be. Some students have very, very complex needs, and different kids are going to require different things from us in order to help them. But the important thing is that all students benefit, even those who aren't traumatized, by the kinds of things that we will put in place to help traumatized youth, whether that is curriculum-based, so the kinds of things that we will teach all kids so they can learn how to be proactive and healthy within relationships, as well as assertive, or what we may teach all kids about the brain and about our stress response systems so that all youth can learn how to regulate their feelings and behaviors in healthy ways. And then also the practices that we put in place that help kids learn. Teachers are absolutely content experts, and if we help students be able to feel safe in our environments, to be able to be connected in positive ways and get regulated, everyone's going to be able to learn more. So if we really have a priority to make academic achievement as great as it can be, as successful as kids can be, then we have to focus on the social emotional needs of kids. And that means helping teachers understand how stress affects students so that we can help all kids be the best they can be. Sure, there really are many, many different signs that can indicate trauma, and these signs don't always mean that trauma is present because they can actually go with lots of other things that kids may be dealing with as well. But I would say the biggest one to look for is dysregulation. So students who may have big feelings react in a big way to even things that might not seem big to us or to other kids. And then recognizing too that other kids who have experienced trauma may have a shutdown of feelings and behavior in response to triggers or stresses that remind their system, meaning their physiological system, of past stressful or traumatic events. So looking at that dysregulation is a huge piece, and then that can impact the emotions that kids feel and express. It impacts actions and behavior that we see at school. But of course, we need to look at academic difficulties that may be showing up, executive functioning skills that may be lagging, and then also look at students' ability to be in relationship and their views of self, because all of those things can signal difficulties that could be related to stress and trauma. Again, they can be related to other factors as well. So just because we see those things doesn't necessarily mean a student has experienced trauma. It means that it could be present. But the great thing is that students who have those same kinds of signs, but because of a different reason, still benefit from trauma-sensitive strategies. In fact, we have to remember that even kids who don't show those signs benefit from a trauma-sensitive school community.